Good morning. My name is Freddy and thank you for joining us today. Today we will have a look at the new recording function in Works3. Well, it's new in the sense that it is integrated into Works3 to be able to manage your recording data on the IQR. Okay, so this will be a series of videos to assist you when you work with Works3. Most of the time we're not always familiar with some of the useful tools in the Mitsubishi software suite. And there are many hidden tools most of we have never seen before just because we don't know that they exist. Okay, and therefore we're having these videos. So let's have a look at it. I've started up GXWorks for us with a pre-project. I'll quickly just talk you through what I've done here, and then you'll get it just behind what I'm doing. Today I'm going to work mainly out of the e-manual. I'm going to show you a couple of extra things as well while we're on the subject on the e-manual as well. Because I don't have a PLC with me, I don't have a PLC on hand, I need a PLC and also a recording module to be able to operate all the functionality of the recording tool or the recording function in GXWorks. You'll notice if you have installed your new where's my license, your new GXWorks, then you should, let me show you. Okay, take note of the version number. That will be 1.065T. Download that version and you will see this new option in GXWorks3 specifically for the IQR PLCs. Okay, and we're going to step through all the options here just now. That's good. Okay, there we go. First thing that you're going to see is the recording menu item. In there will be your recording settings. That is if your module is connected to the PLC, and then you can either read recording files from the recorder, and you can also start offline monitoring once you have recorded files saved to your computer. And then you can either stop your offline monitoring, and then we got the got offline monitor as well. So the guys that's familiar with the IQF, there's a beautiful tool called the real-time monitor function. Incredible piece of software that you can use for troubleshooting mainly, and most of this is aimed at troubleshooting and also for recording general data. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a backplane. I just put in the R35B. And hi guys, if you got any questions during the conversation, feel free to ask. Keep my eye on your feedback. Okay, so this will be the R35B backplane. And then I'm going to add in a power supply. I'll show you now which power supply I've used. I've just used the R62P. And then the CPU that I just chose is the R08P, which is a process CPU. And then the recorder. That will be the RD81 RC96. Okay, so add the recorder, and then just make sure that you fix your parameters once you've done your changes. GXWorks will then go through the procedure to add my devices as necessary. Okay. I'm just going to convert the program for the sake of it. Not necessary at this point in time, but in any case. So the purpose for this is obviously recording data for production and maintenance purposes, and but extremely powerful for troubleshooting purposes as well. So if you've got a large project and you've got intermittent problems, or you need to analyze performance issues, your KPIs in your plant, you can't do any better than this. Unfortunately, I can't show you how it looks like because I don't have recorded data. If I did add any recorded data, I could read the file back and you'd be able to see how the data looks like. It's very similar to what you would find in the real-time data monitor as well. Okay, the real-time monitor function. So I'm going to show you some configuration aspects about it, and the first thing that you should do is dive into your e-manual viewer and go and look at the recording function in your GXWorks manual, or rather in this case the IQR system recorder user manual application, what I'm looking at here at the moment, and that's basically your configuration that you will end up with. You're going to have your power supply, CPU, IOs, network card, and then your recorder. Inside your recorder you'll fit a memory card. I always recommend use a high quality memory card. The recorder is quite intense on the memory because it reads and writes quite fast as well. Plus longevity on your memory card itself. So if you use a cheap memory card, yeah, you're gonna have issues, intermittent problems, but I recommend use a high quality memory card when you do this kind of work. Otherwise you're gonna miss out on data, you're gonna get frustrated, and you don't know why things is not working. So don't go for the cheap one. Just a recommendation there. So all the configuration takes place now directly in GXWorks. I just keep my eye there on the feedback. Anybody got a question there? Oh, I see we've got an extra guy in conversation as well. Please feel free to ask questions. So that's basically how the configuration would look like. I'm just going to dive into a couple of other aspects of the recorder itself as I'm going through the manual. I've saved a couple of highlights for myself here. Oh, I didn't save this one. Let me do that. Well, just an interesting one while we're on the subject. I would like to keep this as a shortcut or a favorite in my e-manual viewer. I merely just right click and bookmark this page, and the title has already been captured for me, and I just put it into my GXWorks3 recording function. Thank you very much, and there it is, and I can close this page now, and I can always come back to it on a later stage. This is the recording function. So if you're going to just type in recording in your e-manual viewer, you're going to end up with this information first of all, and then you can immediately just go directly into your recording function, and it'll take you to the Works3 operating manual, because that's where we start with our recording function. This is how the setting dialog box will look like, because I can't access it at the moment. I don't have a PLC, so it needs to talk to the recorder directly. You can also not simulate when you have a recorder added to your project. It needs to be done live, because the data flow is extremely high between the PLC and the recorder. So once you open your settings on the recording function, let me show you where you can find that. Recording settings. Once you set new, then you will see a dialog box like that. In there you can then manipulate how you want to store the data in your memory card once you recorded it. Now the next question obviously will be what type of data can I then record here? So remember, the data recorder will record as fast as what you set your PLC to scan at. Okay, so any change or any event that takes place in your PLC of data that you've specified in your configuration will be recorded. So you get a table of files that you can set up, and I recommend please go and read through the e-manual viewer. It's very well described. Everything is crystal clear, and you really can't miss a thing regarding recording data with a data recorder. Applicable devices that you can use to record, that's quite frankly the whole PLC. Every single device that you can think of is recordable. I don't know if there's something that you can't record. You can also record video with your data recorder, configuring it to record video material with from your video cameras. And because it's an Ethernet device, it can go onto its own network. For instance, you would like to separate that information from your plant information. I'll show you a layout on the structure there. Have a look. Where did I open that? Okay, there's all the devices. And these are the files. We'll get to the network just now. Okay, there we go. So you have your PLC's Ethernet card. This is your PLC network, and whatever other network you would like to add to your system, whatever your configuration might be. And then obviously the data logger got its own, or the data recorder module got its own network. So you can expose that to your IT department or somebody that's going to manage troubleshooting issues on the recorder itself. It's very secure. All security can be configured. Recommend also read the document regarding setting up your security layers of how you would like to allow certain people to deal with data in your plant. That's basically the connectivity between the PLC and your recorder module, and obviously your memory card. What was the other subject that I wanted to show you? Sorry that I'm just scrolling through the e-manual, because there's a tremendous amount of information about this, and there is absolutely no ways that I can just sit here and read this off to you. You have to go and work through the manual for yourself. So then you have your recording monitor. Okay, this is the dialog box that you're going to see to be able to record the 4 different configurations that you can set up. The powerful thing about these 4 different configurations, I'll just slightly go and have a look at and then show you the configuration on what I'm talking about now, 4 different layers. The 4 different layers will not affect each other. So for instance, if you want to record some devices in one configuration, and then another set of devices in another configuration, and so on and so forth, it does not matter. Now, even when you save files, so you can also configure the recording to be able to be saved on a specific trigger, either on demand by you pushing a button, or on an interval basis, like maybe a specific file size that you want, or maybe a device that fires in your plant, because that's maybe specifically something that you would like to monitor, maybe just before and just after, a couple of microseconds or nanoseconds for that matter. And then the file will be saved according to your request. Maybe you just want a small little snapshot out of a huge amount of data that you would like to go and find maybe performance issues, or even troubleshoot some intermittent problem that you got in your system. And then you can, like, very cleverly set up, okay, when this thing goes on and that thing goes off, whichever the case may be, I would like to see the data in that, and then you can go and analyze the data. Other powerful thing now, obviously, once you've recorded all the data with the recorder in Works3, you then have the option to do offline monitoring. Okay, so that will allow you to open a recorded file from either your device or wherever you've stored it on your network, and that will allow you to play your plant back in Works3 of those devices that you've recorded. So maybe you have an issue, record the data, and you don't have to sit in the plant having issues dealing with production and whatever the case may be to work on your system, trying to find what the problem is. So you can now take the data away, go off site literally, and analyze what your plant is doing, and do your corrections according to that, and then only come back and bring your solution back to the plant. Okay. So there we go. Anyone with a question? I'm waiting for some questions. But nevertheless, let's have a look at this. In configuring the data recorder, this is the area. Let me show you in Works3 where you record by just double clicking on your data recorder. This is your recording buffer settings. You will go onto the recording buffer over here and double click and decide how you want your recording buffer to work. So setting number 1 means my file size for setting number 1 will be 800 megabyte big. This is my limitation on this. My setting range is from 0.2 megabyte, which is 200 kilobyte, to 800 megabyte in units of 1 megabyte each. You can increment them. Okay, so you have 4 different layers of recording independently data from different areas in your plant. Again, here's your IP address configuration for that recorder. And then you have some tools here for your recorder. Let me just zoom in a little bit there. So you have some tools here. It's natively online, naturally. Then automatic hardware testing. It's just a function, so when you switch it on, you power on the unit and it will start doing some diagnostic tests. At the bottom here, it's very well described on what it's going to perform for you on the different tests. So online, it's just your normal operation. Automatic hardware will test the ROM, the RAM, the Ethernet connection, and the necessary stuff from the recorder itself. And then you have your LED check as well. And then obviously firmware upgrade. You can update your firmware directly from here. Okay, so we go and have a look at our node. There's a buffer, and then we have another setting over here. This is our refresh timing. So you can go and specify in Works3 what group you would like to do your refresh on. You obviously have to go and specify these groups under the CPU itself. So we have to go into the CPU module and look at our group. We can literally just type in here refresh and get all our settings in the CPU regarding refresh. So I can go and say display the total points or memory refresh. So there's my refresh data register set at 512K, my timing, blah blah blah. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's have a look here. So this is my refresh setting at the end, and my refresh setting at I45exe. That's for another subject. But in any case, over here you can just read up a little bit more about how you would like your program to refresh. Let me just see, there's not another one. Oh, sorry, this is it. This is what I wanted to show you. Please set, this is the place where you're going to define what group your program that you would like to record on is going to fall under. Okay, so over here I have 1 to 64 groups for specific programs. So this is my refresh group setting, and then on the side is just your device file for the program. You can either configure it or leave it default, but in any case, this is the place where you set your refresh group setting. And let's go back to the item. We will find it here under refresh settings between multiple. No, am I right? Yeah, this is under program. Sorry, under program settings. Okay, in your CPU, we'll go and look at our detailed settings, and there you can decide what group you want to configure that for your recorder. Okay, so when you enable this, specify the program that you want to monitor, and you just specify either 1 to 64. Okay, I hope that has given you some insight on what to do with the recorder. It's quite advanced. Again, it's expected from you to work through the documentation. This is not just it's a very simple device actually, but extremely advanced, very intuitive, very easy to help, and I thank you very much, Erwin. Much appreciated. So yeah, more than that I can't say at this point in time, until I actually have a physical device or recorded data. If somebody would be so kind to give me like a 5-minute recording of their plant, that would be interesting to see, or you can play with yourself, and if you maybe send me some data, I can make another video and playing your plant scenario back to the guys here live on one of our webinars maybe one day. That would be nice actually. So that's my story on the recorder. We'll probably expand a little bit more in deeper detail about what one can do with a recorder. I just want to see here. Oh yeah, and this is about network cameras which can be recorded, but again it's all about reading the documentation and how to configure all these little devices. Okay, on what you would like to record, how you would like to record it. Okay, again, detail extremely clear in the manual viewer. Indulge yourself in the information there. It's really worthwhile. Okay, for troubleshooting, fantastic tool. I can't see why one would not do it. Okay, and let's move on to the next. Okay, no, thank you very much, Urban. Any other questions? You guys are welcome to send email to us, and then we will deal with your question regarding some information that I've shared with you today. Feel free to go to our website. Go and have a look at our support from Android support forum. We regularly update our information there to help people get past certain issues. And have a look at our Mitsubishi support forum as well. We regularly have updates and changes or new examples of things that we found that we would like to share with our customers. You probably will find your solution that you're looking for in the knowledge base. Okay, and then lots of other information that we keep up to date on our website, and we look forward to being in contact with you. Then least but not last, thank you very much for sharing your time, and we hope you've learned something today. Please click on the subscribe button and click that bell icon so that you can receive notifications and not miss out on our live webinars. So next webinar will be about some uses for the data flow function in Works3. I'm going to go a little bit more advanced, taking a full project and show you in detail what happens with the data flow, how to analyze your data to understand how your program is written, or maybe you need to do some reverse engineering on somebody else's work, which is not documented very well. Very handy tool there. I'll show you an example on that, and that will be on at 11 o'clock next Tuesday morning, presented by myself. And if you have any suggestions or questions around the presentation, please email samantha.b@adroit.co.za, and that will be samantha.b@adroit.co.za. And we look forward to host you at another of our events. And we thank you again, and be sure to click that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon. Goodbye and stay safe.